In Module 29.4 on pages 299 to 300, we get introduced to Martin Seligman and his work on what's called learned helplessness. This is an important phrase because it'll reappear throughout the book. Remember to keep in perspective the context of Module 29. We're dealing with factors that Pavlov and Skinner either ignored or did not believe played a role in learning. So in terms of learned helplessness, we're dealing with these additional cognitive factors, and the cognitive factor we're dealing with is control. And we've seen control before when it came to issues of locus of control. You've also seen it in this unit when it comes to delayed gratification. The idea of personal control can be very, very important to both learning and health of the organism. In order to understand the definition of learned helplessness, it's important to understand the process of the study that Seligman did with dogs, because the definition has two components to it. So the first component is here, the second component is here. So, and remember, you can pause me at any time to read this. What Seligman did in the first part of the study is he subjected animals, dogs, to an aversive stimulus, which was electricity. He had them in a small room, and part of the floor was electrified. And he harnessed the animal to a wall, and the animal, as hard as it tried, could not escape being electrocuted. He did this repeatedly, electrocuting and not allowing to escape. And then the second part of the definition and the description of learned helplessness has to do with he eventually unharnesses the animal, right? And he exposes the animal to the stimulus once again. And instead of escaping, the animal actually becomes helpless. The dogs would cower in fear and would just not even try to escape, even though they had the opportunity to escape. That's the second part of the definition. So here's like a definition you would see in a textbook, right? The tendency to fail to act to escape from aversive stimuli. Stimuli is plural because of repeated failures in the past. So what's important about this study is that obviously perception and control affects learning. The ability to learn is influenced not just by a simple stimulus response phenomenon, or the introduction of reinforcement or the avoidance of a negative stimulus. There's something more going on, and it's a cognitive factor about control. The other thing is personal control also affects health factors. We can see learned helplessness in people as well as dogs. More on that later in the year.